Hello, everyone, and happy Saturday. I hope you had a great week. Mine was fantastic, and I'm ready to start painting today. So, we're going to start something new. I have an interchangeable bench, and with the 4th of July being right around the corner, I wanted to do a design for my bench with a 4th of July theme. Really, you can, if you're into Americana, patriotic decorating, whether it be, a country decor, Americana, a rustic type of decor, this is going to be perfect. And if you like my interchangeable bench, you're going to actually love this insert. So we'll go ahead and get started. Now, I'm going to actually paint the white parts of this design, the buttermilk, the light buttermilk, because I'm kind of trying to go for that country feel, the little rustic feel, so I don't want to use bright white. I've used light buttermilk in the past for my porch creators, and I actually like that combination better. So, and I actually think, well, I'll paint his beard white. I will do that. I'm not going to use the rake brush, I don't think, on the beard. We'll see how it goes once I get everything done. But as of right now, I think I'm just going to basically paint it just the white. So, and for the pants, I have an engraved line going down the middle to separate the two legs. These skinnier areas are going to actually be painted with the buttermilk. And I think I'll just try and see if I can get away with using my sponge and then going back and painting with white. We'll see how that goes. And I'm kind of applying it pretty lightly because I'm a little bit hesitant. And I think after looking at this cutout, the line that goes down the middle to separate the legs, good morning, I'm actually going to make that, I think, a little bit thicker after looking at that. I just think it would separate a lot better. So I'm only going to go up so far, and then I'll break out my brush and paint. Use it to get up close. And I'm just tapping very, very lightly because I don't want to get it in my score lines and my engraving area. I'll have to do a couple coats because of that. And sometimes I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, I think using a brush puts on a better coat. I'm going to just do the same for this flag. So it is supposed to be in the 70s today where I'm at. I'm ready. I'm ready for some hot days. I still think we're gonna get some cold days, and who knows, maybe even a little more snow. You never know. I think I'm just gonna use my brush. I just find using my brush is easier. I can get more paint on, and it seems like quicker. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know if you can see in the camera that this actually, using this light buttermilk, gives it a more country feel. You'll see that as I start applying the other colors. But instead of going with the bright white. Ew, that's not good. But very fixable. The key is if you get paint in the score marks, you just want to dig them out as quickly as you can. And I'm just making sure I go down far enough because we're going to be gluing some shoes on there. I felt like I haven't painted in months. It's been a pretty busy week. Been a really nice week. Now, I will be doing, I'll be shading this light buttermilk a lot with a color called Antique White. Now, they actually recommend some type of yellow. I forget what the color is. I want to say yellow ochre, but I could be way off. But I know it's a yellow cast. But the reason why I'm going to use the Antique White is, like I said, I'm trying to go for that country feel, that Americana primitive look. And I feel that color is the perfect color to do shading with. Now you can highlight this light buttermilk with white. It just takes several coats. I mean, there's a definite difference between the white and the light buttermilk. As far as the color goes, I mean, I don't know if you can see that or not. There's definitely a difference, but that white doesn't want to show up as good, you know, on that light buttermilk. And there is a big delay. So hopefully the sound and everything is okay with this live. But I've heard a lot of people complaining about watching lives the past few days and saying their screen is frozen, there's a big delay, so there might be something going on with the servers. Hard to say. So hopefully I don't have any of those issues. Now, if you're just watching for the very first time, I do have a YouTube channel. It's called Elevated Designs. With the changes to Facebook and their video policy. And I completely understand why they've changed it. Videos are only going to be, any live video is only going to be available to view for 30 days. And then it'll be erased. So I've started a YouTube channel and all my videos are going there. And they're nicely organized by playlist. And it all has to do with the type of design I'm working on. And if it's anything new, like this one particular, because I won't have a picture of the finished product. It'll just have as a thumbnail photo coming soon. So that kind of tells you if, if you're trying to view something, if it doesn't have a picture, that's currently a project that I'm working on. But as I complete them, then I will upload a photo of the finished design. I know I want to watch some March Madness. Congratulations to Michigan State. Wow. You pulled that off. I think Michigan State is the only Big Ten team in the basketball tournament. And for me, being from Ohio, I'm a Big Ten fan. I'm not a big Michigan fan, but I like the Sparties over the Wolverines. Sorry to my son-in-law. He's a Wolverine fan, and I have a friend that's a Wolverine fan, and wow. I know my son-in-law's not happy today, probably. And it's going to be a bark fest. So let me apologize in advance for Wolfie. Not Wolfie, but Grizz barking. So something interesting that happened out at the farm this week. As we were looking out in the field behind the barn, seeing something, and it was quite a ways away, so we were a little unsure of what we were seeing. Well, it happened to be a red fox. And it has its den right behind the barn. And what do you call a baby fox? Kits? Pups? I'm not for sure. But there's quite a few of them. And the red fox are absolutely beautiful. The only thing that I'm alarmed about is we do have chickens. Now, we don't let them free range, and that's exactly one of the reasons why. Along with hawks, we even have a bald eagle that every day between the hours of 5:30 and 7 flies over our house and has its home across the way. And I just think when you let your chickens free range, you're kind of giving them a death sentence to these wild predators. And of course, we have lots of cats, not by choice, but we live on a farm and we have lots of cats. People drop them off. So we never have a problem with mice. And probably what I'll do is I'll probably shade these stripes before I do the red. And then I'll have to be really careful shading the red so I don't get it on this white. And I actually only want to be on a couple hours today, if possible. I'm trying to limit my time frame on the videos to like 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the most. Sometimes I just lose track of time because I'm just into what I'm doing. And I'm going to use the light buttermilk throughout this whole set for the bench. Because everything's going to be red, white, and blue. So I'm going to stick with using this buttermilk. So everything is pretty uniform. My paint is drying super, super fast today. And there are so many baby cows out here. A lot. And I know within a few weeks, they're going to be separating the mamas from the babies. And it is going to be a move fest out here for at least a minimum of 3 days straight. It'll never stop. They will just moo and moo and moo. So I don't know if that takes place while over the weekend when I would do a live. I don't know if I'll do a live because it's loud. It is very, very loud. So I'll go ahead and paint some of these small stars. Probably can't see. And I'm just going to paint the stars that I think go with this Uncle Sam. And paint the other ones at another time. Just a little bit more on these stripes, and that's a lot of water in my brush. Holy smokes. No. Okay, sorry about that. The more I think about it, I probably should have painted the outside red, but it is what it is. So I need a pretty tiny shading brush. And get my antique white out here. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And what I'm going to do is just try and... That ain't good. Try this again. Just shade along the seam between the legs to separate these two. I'm just going down the right side. Well, it depends on how you want to look at the right side of the center or the left side of the stripe. And then I'm gonna turn my piece around and just go along the outside of this. This is a cruddy brush. See how that's all split? It's telling you I don't have enough water. And these little brushes, they don't hold a lot of water. But you don't want a big brush for this area. You just don't. But see how that just kind of gives it a more rustic, like antique, primitive look. Aged is another good word. It looks aged, and that's kind of what I'm going for. And I will try and highlight some white on here, but I think it'll be tough. I don't think you'll see it. Maybe I'll try and see if I can get a better shading brush. Oh. I just know from past experience, it takes a lot of coats, a lot of white to even make a difference on this light buttermilk. But we'll try it and we'll see what we can get away with. These brushes are just so tiny. I don't know. Let me see. I'm gonna try something. See how that brush is split apart? There's not enough water. There's not. And that's a sign that you need to put more water in your brush. And like I said, these little brushes, they don't hold a whole lot. But you gotta use the right brush for your area. I mean, you don't want to come in and try and shade and highlight with this big of a brush for this area. It wouldn't work properly. You would take a chance of getting paint in areas that you really don't want it. And I'm gonna have to clean off my sides because I'm really tilting my brush just to try and get some paint on there, but I am getting somewhere I don't want it. I'm gonna do one more coat down the center. I wish I would have done the red, but I'm not gonna change it now. Try and go on the outside one more time, and I'm done with the highlighting of the stripes. I do need to shade underneath where his jacket is. I'm just trying to fade this stripe a little bit. All right. Just a little bit more underneath his jacket, and then I'm done with the white portion. I really am. All right, let's move on to the red. gonna have to empty my water because it's not looking good. Now red takes several coats. It's a hard color to cover up. So don't get discouraged. It's taken so many coats. Something I didn't think about is I actually need to shade the lighter stripes behind where the shoes are going to be. So I'll let this red dry and go and do that before I get carried away. I like to do a lot of detailed work. It has to be a personal preference. I prefer to do more detailed work. I do it because I think it makes the finished project look nicer. So therefore, it takes me way longer to paint than others. You know, how much time you choose to spend painting is your choice. And don't let anyone, if you take a long time like I do, don't be discouraged and don't let anybody make you feel that you don't paint fast enough. Because if you're taking the time to do all this work, most likely your product is going to look a lot nicer than someone that just slopped on the paint and chose not to do any detail work. I go at my own pace, no matter what I do in life. And I've always just, when it comes to artwork, I don't care what I'm doing. Whether it's painting, drawing, designing, crocheting, knitting, sewing, anything. I take my time. Because I just know that I want a good end result. Not because I'm perfect. And I strive to be perfect. That's not who I am. I just, I want to be proud of my end result. So, proud and happy. All right. Let's see. Now you got to keep in mind, these are going to glue. They're not going to go all the way to the bottom because you have that little tab that'll either go on the bench. One of these elements will have oh, stand. But everything fits. You can interchange it however you want. So, and I think I'm going to actually use a wider brush because I want this pretty light, but I want it pretty thick, wide, I guess. And I am going over my red, but I'll have to change it and fix it. So I'll let that dry, and I'll probably have to go back and hit it a couple times. Sounds like the wind is picking up. And that's not a good thing because my husband's trying to burn. I think I'll go over that one more time. That actually is a pretty good line. And call the shading good. Too much water. Oh, I forgot about this part of the hat. Gotta paint that red. Wasn't thinking. Farm hands are busy today. Yeah. If you happen to get in an area you're not supposed, you really don't want to, Q-tip. Just wet it, damp it rather. Make it damp and wipe it off. Don't press hard because you'll take the paint off. But I love Q-tips. I use them just for that. I use them for applying glue. Pretty handy thing to have. Hopefully I can get away with one more coat. Yeah, I probably should have made these stripes opposite, and it's too late now. So if I had to do it over again, these wider stripes in the middle, instead of painting them red, I would paint them the light buttermilk. Hi, Carol. How are you? It's amazing how just making a small change like that can change the way something looks. It definitely changes the look. And to go back and try and fix it, if I was going to fix it, I should have fixed it before I started painting these red stripes. Because to try and put white over them now, forget it. It would take a million coats. Alright, maybe another coat down the center stripe. I gotta do that part of the hat. That's too much water. I don't know about anybody else, but I find holding your piece in your hand, I just feel like I have a better view of what I'm painting. I don't care if I go in the nose area. We have a nose we're gonna glue on. I just want to make sure that I get the paint down far enough. We're gonna be gluing the flag on. My water looks like strawberry milk. And I might go and change these after I start the blue. I don't know. If If I do change it, it'll be off camera. Because it's going to be a lot of work to change it. But I don't know if I'm feeling it. And that was my own fault. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to paint the pants. You can paint them however you want. I just, everything I've ever done with doing striped pants, it's always the red on the outside. So I guess I'm kind of just used to that look. I mean, this isn't bad, I don't think. It's just not something I'm used to. So I think that's what the problem is for me. That's the struggle I'm having. But I'm the type of person that I'll let something sit. Like, I'll let this sit after I get my blue done, and I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I'll let it sit, and I'll look at it several times. I won't make a hasty decision. And 9 times out of 10, after I let something sit and I come back to it, I like what I did. I might not be liking it at first, but then it ends up being okay. So don't be afraid to walk away if you're not happy about the colors you used, or, you know, anything regarding the painting. Just walk away. Whether it be, you know, for a couple hours, or go back and look at it the next day. I've done that a lot. The painting, a lot. And I want to be careful with this flag because it's a little bit fragile, not a whole lot. The last thing I want to do is snap that little wooden piece. Too much paint. Yeah, I won't know if I like that until I put that blue on. I have too much water on my brush. Way too much. You need water to help with the paint, but sometimes you can get too much. I'm definitely guilty of too much. Because what happens is, you know, these brushes are small. I'm dipping it into a basin that the water is pretty deep in, And I'm shoving my brush down in there, and there's water getting up in the ferrule. And eventually it works its way down onto the bristles. So I'm not like patting my brush off good enough to get that water off the ferrule, to keep it from dropping down. Alright. I think this red is about good enough. Let's get a little bit closer to that stripe in a few areas. And it's good. Kind of part of me wants to take and I don't know. Dry brush my neon red down the middle, but I think if I do that, I'm going to be asking for problems. So I'm just going to wait. So I'm going to take Neon Fiery Red. It's a bright color. This is how bright it is. It's bright. So when using this to highlight, and this is not the recommended color. I forget what it is. It's more like a pinkish red. It was not my thing. You want to put this on lightly. Really blend your paint. Put it on lightly. And if you have to go back, go back. And I got a little bit more of a solid line than what I wanted, but all right, I'm gonna I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of highlight the tip or the corner of the hat. I will go back and do that centerpiece, center stripe rather, but I think I'm just gonna try and wrap it just around. I know I want my highlighting whiter. I'm not getting it as white as what I would like. Not getting it at all. That's a little bit brighter, I think, than what I wanted, but I'm gonna live with it. I might even do a little dry brushing. Because I'm not feeling that. And I'm just gonna go at the top of the stripe and at the bottom. All right, and here's the thing, I'm going to be covering that up. I think this is going to be a good brush. So I'm just dry brushing a little bit of highlight on here. I need to find a smaller one of these brushes. I think I've got them the smallest size. Because I do like it. Part of me really wants to brush some highlighting down that red stripe. I'm gonna wait though. I'm tempted, but I'm gonna wait. All right. Try and get this shaded, and then I need to take a break and empty my water. So I'm going to use Black Plum. And you want to be careful with this color and blend it really well because it is, I think probably what I'll do is dry brush down there. I'm going to try this bigger brush. But you want to blend it really, really well because it will get away from you. I mean, the color's called Black Plum. And it's because it's so dark. need to go over that probably just a little bit more. And I'm touching oh so lightly, trying to avoid what I just did by getting it in that white area. But it's kind of hard. You don't have a whole lot of room to work with. It ended up getting darker than what I wanted. I'm gonna have to probably go over that one area because I have a bold line and that's not what I like. We'll see. I'm just trying to put a little shadow. And I need to go underneath the coat. And I'm just kind of walking the float down a little bit to make that shading a little bit wider. And I need to kind of go behind where this flag would go. So I'm just gonna do a little shadow there. we make this just a little bit darker. Not a whole lot. Well, that was maybe too much. Oh well. I can get away from you. All right. So this is kind of where we're at. So not too bad. So I'm going to empty my water, and when I come back, I'll move those. We'll start doing the blue portion of this. And we'll see what time we're at and see how much further I'm gonna go. So hopefully you stick around. I'll be back shortly. Okay. Something I thought about while I was emptying my water is I'm going to see if I can float a little bit of this black plum down the one side of the stripe, just to bring in a darker color. It's going to be really faint. I might need to add just a little bit more. But just to bring another color in on that red part of that stripe, because I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. So that just adds a little bit of different color. other side. Just, I don't know. I think this brush has started to see better days. Just trying to do something to help these stripes. I'm not feeling it. So that's that. All right. I'll get this band painted. And the cuffs. I'm using a color called Uniform Blue. And this color is Retired by Jekyll Art. However, though, they do have a, not good. I need to wipe my hands off. Mixing chart. Jekyll Art has a mixing chart for all their Retired colors on their website. So, hey Jamie, how are ya? You can go to their website, get the formula to mix this color. The other thing that I would recommend, and this is what I'm going to do, is there are numbers out there that you can get the what are they, hex or something numbers, or RGB or whatever it's called, numbers, and you could probably take them to Home Depot or Lowe's and have them mix the paint for you. So I just absolutely love this color. It's one of my favorite blues. It's the perfect color for the style that I'm going for as far as painting this. So I hate that they retired it, but it is what it is. But it's the perfect blue for that Americana look. And this blue usually covers pretty good. You can usually get away with one coat. Now this I might not be able to because I've got the neon red and that black plum. Had some new people come on and stop in, but everybody's shy. Nobody wants to say hello. And that's okay. I need to watch. Because I don't want to go over into his beard. So if I just stick with those lines, I should be good. And I think what I'll do is adjust the file to where there's some score lines, so you know where to paint. Or rather, how far you can go without getting blue paint onto where the beard would be. Now there are buttons that you're gonna glue on to this jacket. However, there's scored circles on the cuffs for buttons that you'll paint on. You'll just paint in those circles. Too much water. Had that water in my ferrule and did not wipe it good enough. Got in that area a little bit. Now we're going to be gluing a cuff on here, but just in case, you know, you don't get it lined up correctly, I'm going to just go ahead and paint under here just to be on the safe side. It's getting pretty windy out. didn't think it was supposed to rain today, but it's pretty cloudy. And it acts like it wants to blow a storm up. And what I would recommend as far as painting these buttons is if you have a stylus, like what I use to paint the eyes of anything, you know, dot the eye. That's what I would use for these buttons. I wouldn't try and use a brush to try and dot those. All right, I need just a little bit more paint. It's a little blotchy here and there. And this blue is done. So I'm gonna let this dry and do a little highlighting. I'm going to use a color called Williamsburg Blue. It's not what they recommend, but I like it better. Almost out of it. I'll start off with this flag. That's all I think I'm going to do is highlight the top of that. This could use a little bit more. It's a very minimal highlight. And see how quickly that's fading. I don't think that's gonna fade. I'm just trying to emphasize the curve of these sleeves just to lighten them up. And then I'm gonna go back and do a little more highlighting. Hope that fades. Yikes. I hope that fades. So that's a little bit more than what I wanted. A lot more. Let's try and go across the bottom of this jacket. Just really want that part of the sleeve to be really lighter. need to let that dry pretty good. Hi, Lisa. And I'm just going to do the outside edge where the buttons would be. Just to lighten those up. Do the outside edge of this coat. Well, that might be a little bit lighter than what I anticipated, but and I'm gonna look into getting another mop brush. That mop brush, I don't feel as good. I really don't want that bold line there, but it is what it is. All right, the color I'm going to use to shade with is Payne's Gray. So what I want to do is shade around underneath where the beard would be in here, and then on this side. So I think I'll start off with the beard area. Oh, and I need to shade underneath the hat band as well. And it's not really a bold shading color. I really want to be careful, because I really don't want to miss my line and go with that beard area. And this is just going to be a minimal shading. I'm going to go around that beard again. Let that dry and I'll hit those other areas, and I gotta wait for that to dry so I'm not removing my paint. Just gonna hit the opposite sides of the cuff. I'm just kind of shading opposite of where I highlighted in certain areas. And I'll need to go back and hit it again. And I would have to say, the shading is pretty well wrapped up on this. And don't be afraid to walk your float a little bit to widen your float. I like it just kind of like brings a different look. And I actually need to shade right in here where that cuff is gonna glue on. So let me see what I can do. So that just kind of, what that's going to do is just kind of create a shadow. Once I glue that part on. I'll hit it again. And then I'll do this other side too as well. Yeah, I think I'm okay with all that. Maybe go a little bit wider and darker right in there. See, this is what takes the longest, is this detailed work, and I'm really putting a lot of detail work in mine. But I think I'm about done. And honestly, I think he's pretty good. And I've been on here almost 2.5 hours, so a little bit longer than what I wanted. But all we have to do on this is to paint the beard, the mustache. Oh, I gotta paint that. I didn't paint that. And the only reason why I'm gonna paint that is in case I don't get that one cuff glued on and lined up correctly. So we have to paint the hands, this part of the flag, the mustache, the beard, the shoes, and the nose. And he is done. And to be honest with you, after I put this blue on, I'm not feeling too badly about those pants. I think it's different. It breaks up the red because there's a lot of red up here in this hat, if you think about it. There's more red stripes in this flag. So, kind of breaks that up, and I think I'm liking that. I'm just making a mess. So, this is kind of what we're looking at so far. I won't break out those cuffs. I will need to shade. I want to shade those stars a little bit just to bring a something different to it. But yeah, I'm really liking this. And once I add the white stars to the band, that'll break it up. And then, you know, when you don't have every section painted, it kind of looks like it's not complete. But yeah, I'm really liking this. And I'm not unhappy with these stripes. I'm glad I went back and put a little bit of color on them. A little highlighting, a little shading. I think that changed the look of it. But yeah, not too bad. It's definitely different. So I don't think it's that bad at all. So with that being said, I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow or not. Have some things I've got to take care of. But if not, I will definitely be on sometime next week. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit subscribe, share with your friends, your family, your fellow crafters, anyone that likes to paint, if they like to watch people paint or learn a couple things. Hopefully, you know, I'm inspiring you to learn how to paint. I'm not an expert. I'm by any means, and I haven't been painting as long as some of these other people, but I think I don't do too bad, but I am definitely not an expert. And if I can inspire you or give you any hints and tips to help you along your way, or encourage you, help you with the struggle, and that's what I want to do. If you don't like my page or you're not following it, please follow my Facebook page and follow my shop on Etsy. Everything's called Elevita Designs. ELEAV as in Victor, EDA Designs. So with that being said, I'm going to get off here. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.